you just talk and
Hmm.
keep the stream going, okay?
Wait, what?
You just talk.
Leave me with all these adoring people.
You just talk for a sec. I need to make a call real quick.
Once upon a time, a far-off kingdom, there lay a small village at the edge of the woods. The lovely maiden lived as a servant for her stepmother and evil stepsisters in her father's great mansion. These two were very poor and had only a cow named Milky White to their name. Coming into their shop, lovely little girl who always wore a red hood. One day she caught the eye of a handsome prince who asked her to come to the palace to be his bride. Before she say yes or no, the evil stepmother cut off all her hair with a pair of scissors. The maiden, whose name was Cinderella, was very distraught of this because it meant she would not be presentable. The mother explains to the lad that Milky White has become a liability and must be taken to market. Jack ran from the house and took Milky White to the barn. He put her into a stall, where he turned around to see three old women coming towards him. They each held a bucket of soapy water and scrubbed every inch of the cow clean. There came a knock on their door. It was not the girl, but rather the witch who lives next door. When you were no more than a babe, your father brought you and his wife to this cottage. Your mother was with child. I caught him in the autumn in my garden one night. He was robbing me, rooting through my rutabaga. How do you spell rutabaga? But I let him have the rampion. I had lots to spare. In return, however, I said, fair is fair. You can let me have the baby that your wife will bear. I let him go. I didn't know he'd stolen my beans. I was watching him crawl back over the wall when bang, crash, a lightning flash. There's no more fuss and there's no more seams, and my garden thrives. You should see my nectarines. Don't ever, never, ever mess around with my greens, especially the beans. The witch gave the husband and wife an ultimatum. You wish to have the curse reversed? I'll need a certain potion first. A cow as white as milk, a cape as red as blood, a hair as yellow as corn, a slipper as pure as gold. Bring me these items before the chime of midnight in 3 days' time. Bring them and I guarantee a child as perfect as child can be. Go to the wood! And with that, the witch vanished. With the witch's spell still fresh in their minds, they decided to go on a quest. They set out to gather the items needed from the witch's list. After a day of searching, the baker became tired and hungry. He stopped to rest and ate something he found on the ground. It was a small mushroom, and it tasted delicious. And knowing the baker, it was probably not poisoned at all. I am attempting to send all these fairy tale characters into the woods to meet up with each other. And so, into the woods, Baker, his wife, Red Riding Hood, Cinderella, and Jack all went to fulfill their wishes. While gathering her things, Red Riding Hood heard a voice behind her. It was the baker's wife, and she turned around. The baker's wife threw down a basket of bread and said to her, "Here's some food for your journey." Then she left. Red Riding Hood took the basket and left with her friends. What friends? I haven't introduced a single character to Red Riding Hood other than the baker and his wife, and she already has friends. What have you in that basket of yours? Riding Hood's heart pounds furiously and she stammers, I'm collecting ingredients for my mother's birthday cake. The wolf smiles wickedly. Oh, well then, come inside. We can talk about your mother's gift later. The party moves into the cottage. What cottage? I've not introduced Grandma's cottage, let alone whoever her mother is. But when they open the door, a blinding light comes from within. Oh, where do I go from here? Please, where do I go from here? Could I make this about aliens? Like, all of a sudden, nothing is there, and she's just blinking in the middle of an open patch of the woods. She's would probably be thinking, man, I really shouldn't have eaten those mushrooms coming down here. I'm going to eat you. I'm a nice girl. Yeah, right. Now say goodbye to your friends. The friends struggle and fight, but they're too weak to escape the beast's grasp. Let's eat them, says the wolf. Not yet. I want to give them... Wait, is he talking with himself? Is there some random mysterious force replying to the wolf, or is he just talking to themselves? I think the wolf has split personality disorder here. As it happened, the wolf's belly had been chopped open by the baker who'd come across the wolf as he was sleeping. The wolf is still alive. The baker and his wife chased after the wolf, and he was caught by a rope tied to a tree branch. There is no escape for you now. The witch will have your revenge. The baker and his wife dragged the wolf back to the witch. She was able to use a voodoo doll to take control over him. Okay, so now the baker and his wife are officially the witch's cronies. Oh my goodness. Plot twist. Oh my goodness. How are we going to top this? I'm going to click continue. I want to see what happens. The baker and his wife were... Okay, I can't use this ending. It basically says, the baker and his wife were rewarded with a baby girl as perfect as child could be. The end. She then cast a spell and placed the wolf in a cage, preventing him from harming anyone ever again. Meanwhile, Red Riding Hood and her friends walked along until they arrived at the town square. There they saw the mayor, and a crowd of people gathered around him. We have finally discovered the culprit responsible for all the recent attacks on our village. Red Riding Hood willingly gave the baker her own red hood. The baker jumped for joy and headed back into the woods to find the remaining ingredients. The crowd gasped. What's the matter? That's not the witch's spellbook you brought. Where did you get it? The baker began to explain how he'd gotten the book. I traded it for some bread. This is when the baker realized he had made a mistake. Stop it, novel AI. I don't want the baker to be the witch's underling. He's not a pawn. Upon returning, the baker noticed that the wolf's cage was empty. He asked the villagers if they knew where the wolf was, and they told him that he was being held captive by the witch. The baker immediately sought out the witch and demanded to know how she could do such a thing. Dude, the wolf ate Red Riding Hood and the granny. Why do you care? And you chopped it open. The witch replied, "If you would like to know more, all you need to do is kill me yourself." The baker's wife climbed up the stairway to try and meet this mysterious maiden. But when she reached the top of the tower, she realized that the maiden was none other than Red Riding Hood herself. No! She looked up and saw a single window. "Is someone there?" the baker's wife called. The maiden sang back, "Yes!" The baker's wife quickly climbed the tower and knocked on the door. I just said there's no door! The baker's wife continued to ask questions about her mother, her brothers, and her sisters. Soon the baker's wife learned that this maiden was none other than Cinderella. "So, what brings you here?" Okay, so apparently Cinderella just got really lost. Give me, but this is just hair dye. How could you? Cinderella laughed some more and said, "I've already made a deal with the devil and have a contract to keep. I'll die if I'll break it." "Okay, here's the deal. If I don't return home by midnight, I'm going to have to go through hell." What is this idiocy? No! All of my plans! Look at this. Hair as yellow as corn. Surely we can use this to reverse the curse. Don't worry, honey. We'll just make a deal with the devil again. Wait, what? Yes, sir. Goodbye, dear. Cinderella left and found the devil who had a contract. Cinderella agreed and went to the castle. While she was there, a beautiful carriage came upon her, and she fell in love with it. So much so that she decided to steal it. I can't keep going with Cinderella right now. Because we have 10 million other characters. I'll give you 5 beans and a single bean for the cow. What? 5 beans for a cow? Please, lady. Lady. I'm poor and I need money to pay for my son's medicine. Which next appeared to Jack saying, "Hi there, handsome. I heard you were selling a cow." Jack replied, "I am indeed, yes." The beans thrown away began to grow, and grow they did, higher and higher, till they reached beyond the clouds themselves. At last, the beans grew so high that an eagle flew over and saw the beans and ate them. This made the eagle very sleepy, and when the sun rose, the eagle fell asleep to the sound of birds singing. Jack picked the beans up from the ground and put them back in the sack. Then one day, Jack was walking through the woods with his cow milkshake. Then came the sound of footsteps, echoing through the sky, coming closer and closer until they stopped right beside Jack.
"What do you want up here?"
Jack replied, "What, me? I'm just a simple little boy."
"And yet you have the power to control an entire kingdom?"
Wait, what? Okay, so apparently Jack has power now? Well, what do you think you're doing? What I'm doing is taking the carriage back. You know, the one I stole from that wicked witch? Wicked witch? Well, I suppose she could be, but still. Shut up! Just hand it over! I wanted to tell you that I made a deal with the devil, but it turns out he's full of crap, and now I'm stuck in my own house forever. No, you're not. He said I'd become immortal, and instead I got a job cleaning his toilet. I was supposed to have a handsome prince fall in love with me, and he never even told the prince where I live. What kind of stupid crap is this, huh? Well, the baker stammered, and I stammer as well, because, lady, you were right there at the castle. What were you doing not schmoozing with the prince when you had the chance? Listen, if you know of anyone who might be able to help me, please let me know. I don't suppose he would consider taking my magic beans? Yeah, right, like I'd ever do anything like that. The baker quickly left the area to find someone else. The king was donned in shoes that could easily be described as pure as gold. The last ingredient, the baker's wife exclaimed to herself. The queen, who happens to be the witch, had been eavesdropping on the conversation between the baker's wife and the prince. She was going crazy trying to figure out how the baker's wife knew about their plan. Queen is furious. How dare you steal from me? And in front of my son, no less? No need to be rude, ma'am, the baker's wife replies. I'm terribly sorry for taking such advantage, but I didn't realize you're the one who created this recipe. Your apologies are necessary. I'm the queen after all. Okay, I understand. Please don't call me a witch anymore, the queen pleads. Of course not, sorry. Now then, I'm afraid the only thing I can do is cast a curse upon you. Not on my watch. And bolts from the scene. To be continued.
I feel kind of guilty because I probably false advertised a bunch of people into coming in just listening to you novelize.
Nah.
Because they were like, ooh, who's playing Sonic Frontiers? Ooh, who's this Pirate King Boros guy? Ooh, what's going on? There's a We'll Be Right Back screen with an AI novel being read.